Welcome to Phams Vlogs Week 2. How's it going, everybody? Glad to see you guys again. Hope you had a good Monday and Tuesday and you're ready for this Thursday and Friday. I'm going to try to talk really fast, otherwise this video is going to become a 20-minute video, which neither of us want. So, first question I have for you guys is, did you complete the attendance form? Make sure you do it. You got to do it for both Phy Ed and music. They're separate forms. You got to do it before the end of the day. Only do it on Monday and Thursday because those are the days you're here for music class. You don't need to do it on Tuesday and Friday because you're not here for music class. Awesome, we're going to keep going. Lessons will start next week. You guys don't have lockers because you guys are online, so you're going to check your Google Calendar for that time. I'm going to be sitting in my office or at home during that Zoom time, and we'll have a lesson. I'll have an instrument out, we'll play together, do all the stuff, talk about lessons this year, and it'll be a great low-key first lesson. Really excited for it. So remember, our goals this week are I can identify different notes on the grand staff, and I can identify a treble and bass clef. Now, we're actually going to go through this stuff pretty quickly, but it should be a review from either Miss Meidel's class or band, or even with Mrs. Ryan back in the day. So, a grand staff. Grand staff is when you have both treble clef and bass clef together. You have this connector, okay? Now, for a grand staff players, which are usually piano players, the piano player with their right hand will play treble clef, and with their left hand they'll play bass clef. If you look over here, we have a time signature. It says 4/4. Now your time signature tells you the rules of the piece. It tells you what the measures are. Now 4/4 time, the top 4 means 4 beats in a measure. That bottom 4 means that a quarter note gets the beat. So if you actually look in that first measure, you have 4 notes in here. These are all chord notes and they all get 1 beat. So measures, if you look at this piece of music, we have a bunch of different rhythms, but each measure equals 4. So 4 quarter notes here. This measure, we have a dotted half note and a quarter note. They all equal 3, even though there's different amounts of notes. They just all equal different amounts of times, but they all equal up to 4. Now measures are what's in between these 2 bar lines. So if we count how many measures we have here, we have 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 measures, okay? We're going to keep moving on. Treble clef. So treble clef is that top clef on the grand staff. Now treble clef is usually for higher singing voices or higher sounding instruments. Our musical alphabet goes from A to G, okay? If we're going up the staff, we're going up the musical alphabet by lines and spaces. If we're going down the staff, we're going down the musical alphabet. So, it's a lot more simple than you think. This is an A on the staff. If I go 1 line above, it's a B. I go 1 space above, C. Then a line, D. Then space, E. Then F. And I'm going to have some acronyms to help us with knowing all these notes. Going down is the opposite, so you're going down the alphabet, C, then B, then A. Now I got to A. What's before A? You go back to G, then F, then E, and so on, okay? Bass clef is the same concept, but it's a little different. The notes are shifted. If I give a flute player who plays in treble clef a bass clef piece, a trombone piece or something, they're not going to sound good. It's not because they're a bad flute player, clarinet player. It's because that music isn't for them. It doesn't read the same. So, bass clef is a little different, where we have notes in sort of different places. So if we look here, we've got an A, then a B, then a C, then a D, then an E, then an F, then a G. And when we get to G, the alphabet repeats itself. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And it can go for infinity and infinity. Just keep adding these lines. One quick thing that I like to think of when I think of bass clef and treble clef. Bass clef, these 2 dots always circle around the F line. That's the first thing I use as a home base. For treble clef, this circle always is circling the G line. That's one way to get to my home base, sort of like to figure out one note on the clef if I forget my acronyms. Now, easy ways to remember these are these acronyms. You probably have heard these before, whether it was Miss Meidel or Mrs. Ryan back in the day, but there's a reason you know these already. The spaces of treble clef are F, A, C, E, or face. The lines are every good boy does fine, or Ernie gave bird dead fish, whatever works for you. Those are the lines. All cars eat gas, all cows eat grass, A, C, E, G, whatever works for you again. Lines of bass clef, good burritos don't fall apart. So, how do you use that? Let's say I'm Greta and I forget bass clef, and I forget the lines. I have this note in the middle, okay, of bass clef. I'm like, okay, what's my lines in bass clef? Okay, the acronym is good burritos don't fall apart. Good, and then burritos B, and then D, don't, D, and then she can figure it out that way. That's how I want you to use these acronyms, and eventually not have to think of the acronyms and just sort of know where they are once we start memorizing. So what are you guys going to do today? We're going to do an assignment called What Note Is That? It's an assignment for band students that you guys have already done, but now you're going to do it with the grand staff. It's a little game in Schoology where you're going to it's going to give you a note and you have to pick the note it is. The website's in Schoology. I need you to change it to the correct settings, which we're going to do together in 1 second. You need to complete at least 25 questions, and then you need to screenshot your score. You can do this as many times as you want. Just don't do like 500 in one take. You can use the cheat sheet. I have a reference sheet. Use it if you need it, okay? You don't have to have them memorized. If you need the cheat sheet, use it. You need to complete at least 25 questions. An excellent is 95%, a meet is 80 to 94, partial 60 to 79, and not meets below 60%. With the cheat sheet, I believe everybody should be able to get that meets and excellent. That's where you should be shooting. So let's go into Schoology. Take the attendance form. This is what your Schoology looks like. We're going to want to go to week 2, Thursday, Friday. Press Thursday, Friday, and you are going to see 3 things here. I should move this right now. The grand staff notes reference, we're going to click on that. That's going to give you guys a nice reference point, sort of that cheat sheet with all the notes and all the note names for the whole staff, for both bass clef and treble clef. The C in the middle is red because a C here is the same. These 2 C's are the same, okay? Even though one's closer to bass clef, one's closer to treble clef, they're the same C. And you have your acronyms here. If you forget your acronyms, go back here, have this open while you do the assessment, and it's going to help a lot, I promise. Go back to Thursday, Friday, click the note identification website. It's going to open right in to Schoology. Show up like this. It won't look like this right away, so that's what I mean by we need to change our settings. You're going to press this settings tab, click on that. You're going to go to clefs. Usually it's on treble clef. We're going to want to go to grand staff because we're going to learn both treble and bass clef. Even if you're a flute player, clarinet player, you got to learn both in this class. So click grand staff. Go to ranges. Usually the ranges are not this. They're usually out here like this. We're going to move and drag those to the correct ranges we want, which is the top of the treble clef line and the bottom of the bass clef line. If you want to do more because you're a piano player or something, you can do as many as you want or as much range as you want. It'd be a little harder though. Go back. Accidentals are sometimes clicked on. You want to click accidentals off, and then you can start. Now, I'll do a few. That's an F. It's also an F. And you just can do this as many times as you want. If I get something wrong though, 2 out of 3, 67%. When I was talking about those percentages over here, that's what I'm talking about. You have to do at least 25. If you don't get, an excellent or meets, you can keep going and try to get the percentage you want if you can get on a streak. Otherwise, you can press these 3 dots and you can reset score and try it again. Do it as many times as you want. Again, you can have that cheat sheet out while you do this. When you're done and you get the score you want to screenshot your screen. So I think that's Control Show on your Chromebooks. Do that. Go to Thursday, Friday again, and there's an assignment called What Note Is That? In Schoology. It's right over here. Click on that. And you can submit right into here. If you forget the directions, I have directions in here. That'll explain it again, or you can rewatch this video. Please let me know if nothing opens up or something's wrong, or you have a question or you need help. Please email me and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. I have classes during this time, so I won't be able to get back to you right away, but whenever I get a break, I'll try my best to get back to you as soon as possible. You guys can do it. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on Monday and Tuesday. See you later. Bye.